every Monday, Wednesday.
Do they? Well, that's good for you, isn't it?
Okay.
I won't mess you up if I flip the papers?
No.
Okay.
Okay, it keeps this with your stuff.
Okay.
You know, that tells you that, and keep that with your papers or something, and that tells you that, when your grandnephews and all that business find this, they'll know that you were interviewed on this date, and the tape is down at the Portsmouth Public Library on tape number 38.
Okay.
They'll go down there and look at you.
Yeah. You'll go this way.
Yeah, right. Bill, tell me your whole name here for the...
William Lewis Questel.
And when were you born?
March 30th, 1926.
Where were you born?
Portsmouth, Ohio.
Okay, right here in Portsmouth.
Right.
Is the house still there? Or are you born in the hospital?
No, I was born in the hospital.
Is the hospital still there?
No. Mercy's gone.
Yeah, that's a shame. And your present address is 1045 23rd Street, and that's where we are today.
Right.
Okay. And your occupation, you're retired?
Retired.
What are you retired from?
Quite a field.
Quite a few things.
Sales and mostly in furniture, automobiles, antique dealer.
Okay.
I had my own car lot one time.
Okay. How much education do you have?
Through high school.
And
plus a few courses in sales and this and the other. That's the only degrees.
Okay.
Like school.
You're married?
Married.
What's your wife's name?
Mary Martha.
Well, let me ask you this. What was your father's name? I like to put a little timeline here.
Lyons Questel.
Okay. Lyons?
Right.
What was your mother's name?
Irma.
What was her maiden?
Jewett.
J-E-W-T. And what did he do?
He was basically employed at the Vulcan Glass Company as a shipping clerk.
Vulcan Glass Company?
Vulcan Glass.
Glass.
Yeah, it used to be down on 3rd and Madison.
Was that a steel mill?
No. It was shoes.
Made shoes.
Shoes.
Okay. Yeah. And was your mother a homemaker then?
No, she worked at Atlas Fashion.
Oh, did she?
Years.
Okay. Now, what was your father's parents' names?
William L. Questel. I'm named after him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're after grandmother. Right. What was your grandmother's?
I believe it was Mary.
Okay.
Not sure.
How far back can you go?
I can't go very far without a book, but I can go clear back where they came over to this country.
From where?
France.
So somebody has written this down for you?
Right, it's in a big book. I got it in the room there.
Okay, good. So somebody's done the research on the family tree.
Right, family tree.
Is it in the Bible or is it in a book?
No, it's in a book form. And it's down at the library, too.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to see this, they'll find it at the library.
At the library.
And you also have a copy.
Right.
Now, your wife's name is Mary. What were her parents?
Welty.
What was her father's name?
George
Welty. What was her mother's name?
Carey.
What did he do?
He was mail carrier for years and years and years.
Okay. And did she stay at home or she worked?
She was home raising family.
Okay.
Big family.
Now, do you have any children?
No.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I had a sister and she's deceased.
Okay. Where did you graduate high school?
Portsmouth High School.
What year was that?
43.
Now, did you enlist? Were you drafted? How did that work out?
This is where it starts out. Prior to the service date of 3/30/44, I tried to enlist in the Navy Air Corps. Enlistments were full at that time. Earl Parsley and I were sitting in Mound Park discussing what to do.
Who's Earl Parsley? Was he a buddy of yours?
An old buddy of mine.
Okay.
And we decided to join the Merchant Marines to see the world with good pay.
Okay.
Earl and I were friends for many, many years. We went to Sheepshead Bay, New York, for basic training for apprentice seamen.
And the Merchant Marine?
At the age of 18. Okay. Prior to this time, I had never been away from home.
Let me ask you a question. Where were you when Pearl Harbor came?
Right here.
Enforcement. Remember the day? Remember what you were doing? The moment? Remember the moment?
Not exactly, no.
Okay. What did you think?
I thought, well, it's sad. That's where
sad situation.
Right.
Okay.
Didn't think it ever happened.
Right. Did you hear President Franklin Roosevelt's speech on the radio?
Right.
Was that a situation where you and the family were around the radio, or how did that?
I think basically it was work at the time I heard about it.
You were at work?
Right, yeah.
What did you do?
A little bit of everything.
Well, you were just a kid then, though.
Yeah, but we worked.
What kind of work?
Passing papers and working on some park work over at the Mountain Park.
Okay.
Kind of stuff, yeah.
So you decided to join the Merchant Marine. Did you join with your friend?
Right.
Okay, did you go to basic together?
Right, we went to basic together.
How long were his basic?
Basic was basically maybe 4 to 6 weeks the most.
Okay.
And during that time, we got lifeboat certificates. We were issued a Coast Guard certificate for 30 hours elementary gunnery training on 20 and 50 millimeter machine guns. And credit was recommended. And then we left Sheepshead Bay.
Where's Sheepshead Bay?
That's in New York. That's where your training station was.
Mm-hmm.
Earl and I went different ways on different ships, not by choice. Never saw Earl again till after the war.
Okay. When you say you went your way after basic, where was that?
Well,
did you go to New York?
No, we left Sheepshead Bay after training. Went to Seaman's Hall for shipping assignment,
Where's
which
Seaman's
was in
Hall?
Boston. They sent us to Portland, Maine. We shipped out on the SS Tidal Gas.
What's the name of it?
SS Tidal Gas.
Tidal
Gas.
G-A-S?
G-A-S-S.
Right.
And as mess boy.
What were you?
Mess boy.
That means you cooked.
Cooked.
Or you served
both. Salads, this, that, and the other.
How long were you a mess boy?
All through this period here.
Okay.
This old tanker was pre-war 1 vintage.
Okay.
They revived for hauling crude oil.
Okay.
And basically, we hauled from New York down to and including picking up crude oil in the Orinoco River in Venezuela.
Okay.
But we also had deck cargo, which was unknown at the time because you never knew what they put on there.
Okay.
You may have food, you may have bombs, you don't know what you're hauling. We went to...
This would be 1944?
1944, right.
Okay.
And we did all the traveling on this ship inside the... intercoastal waterway.
12-mile limit?
Right, all the way down and all the way back. But of course, when you get down into the Caribbean, you had ports of call other than picking up crude oil. We went to other ports of call, Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, Trinidad, Port of Spain, Colon, Panama, Cartagena, Colombia, Carapita, Venezuela.
Mm-hmm. You're in international waters.
Right. At that time, yes. Now, on those trips, I hate to say it, but we were 2 greenhorns. I mean,
who?
You heard Caldwell myself.
Who's that?
He's the fellow that I shipped out with on 3
Is he from here or from another
had
area?
him over there at Sheepshead Bay.
What was his name again?
Howard Caldwell.
Howard Caldwell.
I don't know if he's still living or not.
Where was he from?
Little Rock.
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Yeah, he's a nice fellow.
So you guys were 2 greenhorns.
2 greenhorns, and the crew on this ship was rough old salts. They probably sailed on that ship from when it was born. I mean, there was no young bucks on there. They were all old. And, I mean, they were rough boys. And till we proved what we were seaworthiness, we were treated like outsiders. I mean, they didn't even belong on the ship, which was all right. But made it pretty rough on time.
What'd they do to you?
Just treat you like dogs. I mean, dogs.
All right.
Now, those trips were made, I've got the dates here, 6/4/1944 to 7/9/1944. and 7/10/1944 to 8/4/1944. Those were the first two trips made at sea on this old, what I wanted to call a piece of junk. It was ready for a scrapyard, but they used it because they needed it. I mean, they were short on it.
That was your first two cruises?
First two cruises, yeah.
Okay.
And we got, for every day we were at sea, we got a day off. So, I mean, you work a month, you get off a month, you work a month, you take a month. But we never did take all the time because you were needed at sea. But anyway, we completed the trip on those two. Went home.
You mean back to Portsmouth?
Back to Portsmouth.
Came back here?
I dropped him off at Little Rock.
You dropped him off? You had a car?
No, we just traveled together, buddies.
Did you go on a train or
train, buses, just any way to get there?
Hitchhike?
Yeah, I mean, we did a little bit of everything.
The roads weren't like we have today.
No, nothing was like it is today. After that, we went to decide, over telephone, called each other. We decided to go to New Orleans and ship out on an Army transport.
Let me ask you this question right now, before you get to that story. You're going up and down the eastern coast of the United States, and some ships were sunk.
Oh, tell me about it.
Did you have that concern?
Oh yes, you had that concern all the time, but we were very fortunate they wouldn't waste a torpedo on this thing. It wasn't that bad a shape. We'll get to that later.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. When did you get married, brother?
Oh, I didn't get married till I came back home.
Did you know Mary before you went in?
No.
Okay.
Never actually got out of service.
So let me ask you this question. What does a young, single seaman do when he goes on liberty in the Caribbean?
Didn't get any liberty in the Caribbean.
Well, where did you get liberty?
When we got home.
Okay.
That's when we came home.
Okay. In New Orleans.
No, we didn't go to New Orleans till we shipped back out. These were running from New York to South America.
Were you the mess boy on both of those
trips?
All the time. Okay.
Right. Mess boy and seaman on one of them. But I mean, it was a combination at that time.
Okay. So you come home to Portsmouth and you call Howard. You're off and you decide to go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
What happened then?
Well, we went down to New Orleans and signed up on the I get the name of it here. The USAT Monterey.
USAT
Monterey.
What's the USAT stand?
United States Army Transport.
Army Transport.
And it was nothing but a converted cruise liner from the Kennard Line.
Oh, I'd say this is a little more comfortable than that.
Right. We boarded that ship 9/4/1944 out of New Orleans. Transported 1,100 Army personnel and freight to Ascension Island, Little Rock, which is an Army base located midway between Brazil and Africa in the South Atlantic.
You took Army troops there?
Oh, yes. Took 1,100 of them and brought back 1,100.
Okay.
They was rotating the troops.
So where these guys were stationed on Ascension Island?
What they were out there for, I don't know.
I'm trying to...
Nothing there, nowhere near there. And they were just there. They were captive to that rock. I mean, that's what they call it, the rock.
Okay.
So they were glad to get back to
the 1,100 that you picked up.
Right.
Well, what were they like, taking them over? The ones you take over?
Pretty wild.
Okay.
Wilder coming back.
I was going to say.
And we made other ports of call on that trip.
With the Army guys?
With the Army, because you had freight on there too. And that was at Berlin, Recife, that's in Brazil. And what freight you have, you never know. Matter of fact, you don't know where you're going when you get on these boats.
Did you get livery in Recife?
One day.
Okay.
To go ashore and get whatever you need and get back on the ship.
How about the Army guys? Did they get any?
No, absolutely not. They could not get off. And at that time, we were in there 10/9 and 10/14 and 10/24. That was
1944 is when we're done.
coming back this way, right? And on that trip, we received a certificate, Domain of Neptune Rex, which is for crossing the equator.
You still have it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
You get a hell of a good initiation on that.
Well, what did they do to you?
Yeah, we ain't going to get into that.
Why not?
That's just a little too much.
Can we say they humiliated you pretty well?
Made an ass out of it.
Okay.
About the best way to put that.
Okay. So now you took these guys
Now
to
we're-
Ascension
yeah.
Island and you picked up a bunch and you came back. Where did you go then?
Well, we went back to New Orleans.
Okay.
And at that time, Hart and I split just because he had a family and he wanted to stay with his family a little longer, so I went on home.
Came back here.
Came back to Portsmouth for, I don't know, probably a couple, 3 weeks at least.
What did your family think about you being in the Merchant Marine and stuff like that?
It was all right. A little bit on the will you be back side, you know. You never knew. I mean, you just didn't know. Because you never knew where you were going when you left. I mean, that was the only person who knew where that ship was going at the time was the captain, nobody else. And he didn't know where he was going until you get away from port. I mean, that's just the way it was. It was all, at that time, there was too much worries about submarines and torpedoes. I mean, that's at that time of day, at time of year, it's just one of those things. Hitler was going to kill everybody he could, just like they're trying to do today.
So you got back home.
Got back home and went over to New York. And let's see here. The New York Eve, I spent there in 1944. I was at home and went over to New York City for New Year's Eve. While there, a small plane flew into the Empire State Building. Spent New Year's Eve, 1944-45, sleeping in the train station and celebrated the ball dropping on Times Square.
Were you there?
I was there.
Right on Times Square.
On Times Square.
1944-45.
Never seen so many people in all my life.
Could we say you had a party?
No, just standing on the corner. Went to a party there. You could party if you wanted to.
All right.
Now, from there, I went up to Portland, Maine. It was 1/4/1945. Boarded a new tanker, the SS Cottonwood Creek, made in Mobile, Alabama.
You say new. It had
Brand new. This was maiden trip, along with a sister ship. These were modern, up-to-date tankers that they were the cream of the crop. I mean, they were really nice ships to be on. We made a maiden voyage on that. We had 32 good sailors plus Navy crew of 6. Most of the sailors on this one were young bucks. They weren't the old salts. It was something that everything should have been sunk. But anyhow, that was
What's the Navy doing?
Oh, we had gun crew on these. Yeah, we had 4 20 millimeters and 4 50 millimeters, plus a cannon on the back.
Was that first ship armed?
No.
There was the first ship,
Never. Well, it might have been armed, but
tidal gas.
Tidal gas, yeah.
There was not
much on it. It was just, as I said, they wouldn't waste a torpedo to shoot it down, and it never went out of coastal waters really, outside down in the Caribbean there. Okay. I mean, there was no subs down there.
So you got on the Cottonwood.
Yeah, Cottonwood Creek, beautiful ship, about the size of a football field in length. We took training with a Navy crew on the guns, which I'd already had a Sheep's Head Bay through the Coast Guard. So we were also active gun with the guns if needed. We carried deck cargo along with 100 octane fuel for the Air Force fighters in European theater of war. You wore rubber shoes. Any spark would set that thing off. I mean, it was just that bad. The freight that you had on there, you didn't know what it was.
So, you wore rubber shoes.
Right. Rubber. You could have shoes on, but they had to have rubber soles on.
Okay.
Everything was blackout. Absolutely. At night time, that ship was black and the sea was black. You never had any lights whatsoever, any time.
Where were you going? To Europe?
Yep, we went to Glasgow, Scotland.
Were you in a convoy?
We pulled out approximately 15 to 20 miles out, met up with a convoy at night time. How they do it, I don't know, because you can't see nothing, but they do it. Our convoy at that time, the first time over, we had approximately, and I say approximately because we never know exactly. You didn't know. Nobody knew. Not even the captain knew. We knew. We were in there. We had at that time, there was 2 destroyers and 2 destroyer escorts of the Navy with the convoy. Verified that with the fact that the Navy personnel board ship always knew where the other Navy personnel were. The convoy was made up of many, many types of ships. I mean, it could have been a tanker like ours, or it could have been a Liberty ship. It could be any kind of ship.
What was your duty on that ship? Were you
boy again, basically. We pulled guard duty too because of shortage of personnel, and you'd also get a little bit more time off. And the minute you left the, I think it was 300-mile zone, you're in combat area. Your pay is doubled. And we made darn good money.
What was good money then?
$600, $700, $800 a month.
That's not bad then.
That's good money.
Really good.
And the poor boys in the Navy are making 30, 40, and 50.
Oh, is that right?
But we took care of them.
Something what he said about it then.
Now, I made 2 trips on this tanker.
What kind of fighters did you have on there? Did you have any when you...
The only thing we had was the destroyer escorts.
I mean, did you have fighter planes on there?
No. Okay. We didn't carry planes.
Okay. Do you know what your ship carried?
You never know. They just, as a matter of fact, you didn't know where in the hell you were going. Until you got out to sea and then the captain opened up his orders. I mean, it was that bad then. Okay. I mean, this is when, basically, the distance from the East Coast to Scotland and England was called Torpedo Alley. That's where all the U-boats were laying. Out of the 2 trips that I made on those ships, we had bad seas. Some of it was 40, 50, and 60 foot high.
That's a wave.
Waves. We had people go overboard.
Swept overboard.
Right. And
from your ship?
Not from our ship. We had one of the best ships to be on. The tanker was half underwater anyway all the time because the well deck wasn't but a couple foot off the water. Our living quarters were up high. During that trip, the first trip, we lost possibly 40% of the boats.
They were sunk or
sunk and ceased. Whichever was some of the Liberty ships would just split or sink. I mean, they were very unsafe. Period. The second trip,
you weren't on what they call a Liberty ship.
Oh no, I was on a tanker. You were on a tanker. 400 octane gas going over there to feed the pipeline that fed the Air Force fighters. Very good accommodation.
Were they in a situation where they could rescue some of these guys? Maybe a few. None of them were ever hurt.
If you'd ever hit that water at that time of year, you were dead within 5-10 minutes. I mean, we had ice cables that big around on our ship.
What's an ice cable? You mean
water splashed up
and then collect on the cable?
Yeah.
Just a simple cable, might it be like that?
Might be like that.
Would grow with ice on it to
about 4 or 5 inches in diameter.
Okay. Wow.
And on top of that, it's hard to explain, but they zigzagged their course. You never went straight. And we never knew where we were. I mean, you just didn't know till we get there. I mean, you just know where you were going or what you were doing till you get there.
Did you, so you got to Glasgow?
Right.
How long were you in Glasgow?
Probably 2 to 3 days that they were there taking the gas out.
I think a thief is coming in.
Yeah, people were coming in.
Okay.
And after that, come back and take on ballast, which is nothing but salt water.
Okay.
To keep the thing from flipping over on you.
So you were in Glasgow.
Right.
Did you make Liberty there?
No, didn't have time. Well, I'll take that back. Second trip, we did go ashore for a day.
Mm-hmm. Did you like Glasgow?
Couldn't tell you. It's been so long.
Well, maybe you didn't like it.
No, it was just a city.
Okay.
Really, that's all it was.
How'd the people treat you?
Good. Mm-hmm. But at that time, there was bombs dropping. That's one reason why you didn't leave the ship. And one night, never knew it, but we made an extra $600 from bombs dropping around in the harbor. We didn't even know it yet.
Okay. Dropping money on
Yeah, we had a good stay there. Mm-hmm. Came back and went right back over again. And that 2 trips over there, and that was the end of my first Marine experiences.
Well, does a tanker only carry stuff in its tank?
No, we had deck cargo.
You had deck cargo.
You don't know what it was. Okay. Probably ammunition, but you don't know.
Okay.
Now,
that was the last experience you had as a merchant marine.
And then we received a certificate of service from Harry S. Truman on that. I'll show you all that stuff later. So the war was over then? Was the war no, it was over.
Getting close.
Getting close. I figured, well, I'd come on home, and I stayed home a little too long. So, well, see, when you're at sea, you're in the third.
Oh, I see it coming.
Oh, yeah. So when I was home, I got a nice greeting from Harry S. Truman, which was a draft notice to report to Camp Atterbury.
So you were drafted.
So I was drafted.
You should have run off the sea.
No. As a matter of fact, I figured when you beat the odds of 40 to 50 and 40 to 60, you get back, it was time to stay home. Did you like being on the sea? Oh, yeah, I love it.
Did you like being at sea?
I'd go back again.
Would you?
Yeah, I love it.
What's that experience like?
It's just a world of your own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're right there. You're your own boss. You're your own city. You're your own government. You're everything. In other words, that ship is on.
In every direction, 360 degrees, is just the horizon of the water.
That's right. Rough water at that time of year. Some of the worst ones ever had.
Were the night skies rather total stars?
But you know what? We live and have no moon. You're better off.
You didn't have a moon.
That's right. You're a lot better off. No silhouettes on the water.
Right. Okay, now you're going to be a soldier.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's Camp Atterbury? I think it's
over in Indiana. Okay. They assigned at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, basic training, Army artillery. Received an honorable discharge from the Army to enlist in the regular Army Air Force for immediate departure to Japan, where troops were needed.
Going to be needed.
Right.
So you were in the Army about, you say,
40 days at the most. I got a discharge.
So you were discharged one day. The next day, then you were active duty in the Air Force?
In the Air Force.
Army Air Force.
Right. And shipped immediately over to Tachikawa Airfield with the 13th Air Supply Squadron attached to the 8th Air Force, where we set up a receiving depot for all air freight at Tachikawa Airfield. And that used to be an old Japanese airfield.
Where was it located?
South of Tokyo, about 90 miles. It had been partially destroyed.
So you ended up in Japan?
In Japan.
Part of the occupation?
First one's in there. Mm-hmm. And during that time, we took care of all freight coming and going. And we had a drafting room, probably the size of these two rooms together. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I did in Japan was made charts to show. They'd get the figures in, compute the figures into charts, put them on the wall, and then any officer, any flight, anybody come in, see where the freight was, where it was going.
You charted the freight.
Charted the freights, right.
Kept track of.
Right. We had very limited personnel in that division.
What kind of freight are we talking?
Whatever the Army needed.
Okay. All kinds of stuff.
Whatever.
Okay.
It might be a tank coming in, or it might be ammunition, it might be food, it might be clothes, whatever it was.
When did you get to Japan? When was the date? The war was over, obviously, and it was after all this.
I wrote that down somewhere. Well, let's see.
Did you have to go through any basic again?
Yeah.
You went through Army basic?
Yeah, that's why I got out of there.
It was too much like work.
Wait just a minute here.
That's your discharge.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Enlisted in the regular Army, 27 October,
Right.
1945, reception center.
So I would have been in Japan very shortly after that.
Okay. So you were separated from the Army.
Got over there in October 2745. Was discharged November the 10th, 1948.
You were discharged from the Army November the 10th, 1948.
Right.
What was your rank at that time? Corporal. How long were you in Japan?
18 months. Give or take there, too.
What was that like?
Wonderful.
Was it?
Yeah. We had to sell. Actually, there was a lot of hatred.
For who? From who?
From the Japanese to the American people being there.
Mm-hmm.
And we had full guard duty along with our other duties around the perimeter of the airfield to make sure that nothing went wrong.
The Japanese hated the Americans.
At that time, yeah.
Was it the other way around too? A lot of Americans hated the Japanese?
We had it was also not only just an air depot, it was a replacement depot for bringing new people in and taking old people out. I'll tell you a story about an old sergeant. He had arms on him bigger than my legs. And he'd been over there from one island to another island to another island. He survived them all.
He was fighting.
But he'd been butchered up pretty good all along the way. And he was ready to be shipped home. He said, "Can't ship me home yet." He was so damn mean that he'd all often bust somebody and cut their throat off before they knew what happened. And they kept him there for 6 months before they didn't come back to the States. But he'd been taught to kill, and that's all the man knew to kill. Whether it was you or me, if somebody made him mad, that was...
They kept him there to tame him.
To tame him down. Absolutely.
They wouldn't let him go home until
he wouldn't let himself go home.
Oh, really?
No. He said, "I'd be a danger."
That's interesting.
It is. It's quite a story that nobody can tell.
Right.
There's a lot of stories you can't tell.
He probably wasn't the only one, was he?
No, he wasn't the only one. As a matter of fact, they used to put him in a Quonset hut and let him send him down and basically go through reverse basic training, if you want to word it that way. In other words, get the soldier killing instinct out of it. This stuff never meets the press. I mean, you just think, oh, well, there's nothing. Some of them had a lot of hard time.
You live a life like that, it's your world, isn't it? Fighting.
The minute you turn around, somebody's behind you, shouldn't be there. Well, the first instinct is to make sure you're left while they're going.
Right. How'd the Japanese treat you?
After we were there, pretty darn nice. But again, we were so far out, I never got to Tokyo. Got to Yokohama once or twice.
Large city, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yokohama.
big. But again, I don't want to say you didn't associate too much with them at that time. There was still hostility. I mean, if you didn't care about what was done or who was doing it or how it was getting done, you might venture out a little bit, but still you never go out for yourself. You go out in pairs or fours.
Did you ever have an incident like that?
Never did. Even on guard duty, I never had any problem. I mean, but you had to be. You just had to be ready.
On your base there, did they hire some Japanese to help work?
Not at that time. Later on, they probably did. At that time, they started bringing in government personnel from the States. And they offered jobs to Army personnel that would want to stay and go to work for the government at darn good pay, but I had enough. I came home.
18 months was enough.
18 months, that was enough. I figured 36 months altogether was enough.
Yeah.
It was time to come home.
Well, that would put you up to was that when you were discharged then, pretty much? Or
yeah, that's
48.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. November 10th, 1948.
Did you fly out of Yokohama? Or Tokyo? Or what?
Yeah, we flew out in a cargo ship.
Oh, you were in a ship?
No, cargo airplane.
Plane?
Yeah, plane.
Okay, what was that like?
It was like hell. Strapped in there like sardines.
Yeah,
I mean, we had our choice of doing that, getting home quick, or taking the ship back.
Okay, you were ready to do it.
I was ready to come back. So we
they strapped you in there, you probably felt like you had absolutely no control over it.
That's right. You just sat there strapped on a box. It's the best way to describe it.
Well, now the plane went from Japan to where?
If I remember correctly, it's Portland.
Flew all the way?
Yeah, it's Oregon. Oregon now.
So the next time you stepped on solid ground was in the United States?
Yeah. We may have fueled in, I'm not sure, we may have fueled up coming back. But if we would have, it had been in Hawaii.
Okay.
That's the only fuel supply, but I don't remember that.
When you got to Portland, what happened then?
I came home.
Caught a train.
Caught a train. Right. Caught a train straight home.
You'd been gone for 3 years.
Yeah.
What was that like when you got home?
Pretty darn nice. I haven't left it since. Do a lot of traveling, John, but
Always come back.
always come right back to Portland.
Your folks are glad to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Good time.
Yeah.
Hey, when you came in on did you come in on a train?
Yeah.
Did you come in down here at the train depot?
Yeah.
That they're going to tear down?
That we don't have anymore.
They're going to
be gone.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's where I left out of there 2-3 times. I came back one. The other two came back bust the hitchhike.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this gets us up to 48. What happened then, 1948?
Came home and just worked.
Did you ever go back into the service?
No.
Okay.
That was last. Matter of fact, let's see if I can find it. There's another discharge. One of them, here. On terminal leave from 8/47. March. Recommend for further military training.
What's that mean? Recommend for further military? They want to keep you?
Yeah, they wanted to keep us.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we were offered
Rank?
rank. I said, hey, fella, it's yours.
Did you like military service, though?
Loved it.
Did you?
Wouldn't trade a bit of it.
How about in your merchant marine service?
That was better.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, one time you had a pretty nice shift there.
No, we did it last time. The last time around, it was just like a family. Really, I mean, you live with 30 men, plus the naval crew on there. You're with them day and night. I mean, you're not just with them working, you're with them day and night.
Right. Do you ever keep up with any of these people?
I kept up with two of them. They're both dead now. Matter of fact, Dick Casalfi, which was on the pole up from up north, he passed away last year. And he was the one that I was in band with for 18 months. But in our office there, we had a captain, lieutenant, sergeant major, corporal, which was myself, and Dick Casalfi, which was the private. That's when...
That was the whole unit?
That was our unit in this charter.
Okay.
We took care of all the three.
Did those, how were your officers?
Wonderful. They're just, you never know.
Those are top. Did you say you had a first sergeant?
Yeah. They're just like me.
Okay.
That's no
rank.
No rank.
Full rank.
No, none of that. We're just absolutely, we had a good life together.
Are there any reunions or anything that are...
I had a fellow call me, Dick Gavitt, Leroy Gavitt, from out west, and they said they were having an 8th Air Force reunion. They wanted to know if I was going. I said, well, I never heard anything about it. And he said, well, we were attached to it. I said, I know we were. We were in the 13th Air Supply Squad attached to the 8th Air Force. But I never went. I mean, they evidently haven't, but I've never been to one.
Okay. Do you still have your uniform?
No. I've got to show you what I got left of it when we get through.
What's left of it?
A couple battle stripes and patches and corporal stripes and another patch. That's about it.
Are you in any veterans organizations? When you came, like VFW or American Legion down here?
American Legion, yeah.
You ever see anybody famous while you were in the service?
Yeah.
Who?
All of them except Bob Hope.
Never saw Bob Hope?
Never saw him because I wouldn't go. When he'd come, there would be 15,000 people there.
Bring it over here. Hey, that's neat.
There'd be 15,000 people to see him, and you couldn't get there in time to see him.
Okay. Thank you.
That's my number. That's number one of four that I married. That's Ruth.
Sister?
Yeah. Mary's sister.
We'll hold that up here in a second. But, well, who did you see then? Did you see
Eddie Cantor.
Eddie Cantor was who I was thinking.
Yeah. And what was the crazy guy that went with him all the time?
Jerry
Como or
Corona or something like that. Okay.
All the gals that were at that time.
Betty Grable.
Bunch.
Saw her.
And matter of fact, when I was in New York City, we went to the Rockettes. Never told you this, but when we were in and out of New York City, anytime, this was in the Merchant Marine and the Army, if they had vacant seats in any shows, we'd go up to the window and say, yeah, vacant seat, and give you a ticket.
Free.
Because
you're military.
Right.
Okay.
And we saw, I can't remember the shows we did see. The only one really stuck in mind was Rockettes. I remember them well.
Okay.
They, train station going over west, people meet you. People in the city come out with cookies or coffee for you to train. The train's going to go.
So you'd go to the city and the train would be stopping for taking on supplies or something like that. And the people would come in and give you
cakes, cookies,
donuts, and feed you, and all that kind of thing. Huh.
Now, in the cities, and in the train stations, and in the bus stations, they usually had Red Cross stations there.
Red Cross.
But in the Merchant Marine, you were not service. So you had to pay a nickel.
Oh, a nickel.
Just to keep them in the...
But you're also getting $600 a month.
Yeah, well, it was.
Could you handle a nickel?
Handle that all right.
Did you ever see any famous generals?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, I can't remember all of them now or any of them, but the only one that I really remember was Jim Hayes, who was from here. And he was at Fort Bragg, and I was a second or third cousin from him.
Oh, really?
And Oscar Marsh, who was a first cousin of mine, had just came back from York, and we met at Fort Bragg, and we had dinner.
You and the general?
Yeah, with the big boy.
General Hayes.
Yeah.
Is that Fort Hayes? He's named after Fort Hayes?
No.
Is that in the family, maybe? Or?
It's in the family, probably, because he's from here. Yeah.
Fort Hayes is Columbus. What do you say he's from here? Where?
Well, he's gone now.
Portsmouth?
Portsmouth, West Virginia.
Oh, good. Did you ever see Eisenhower?
No.
MacArthur?
No.
Any guys like that? Okay. Let's see what is that your picture?
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy? There's another one right
there.
there.
Looking at that, holy cow, he's trying to get a little look like a movie star there or something. Hold that up and let me zero in on that. You can point out what those are.
I don't know what all of them are.
Oh, okay. Okay. Get up here a little bit.
I'll play with that. There might be a glare on it that I have to work on. What's the $2 bill doing in there for?
My lucky piece. Notice how worn out and wet looking it is.
Is that what you carried with you throughout all their service, or what?
Every bit of it, every day of it.
Really? That particular $2 bill?
That one right there.
That one got you through then, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, now there's, up in the top there, are those your dog tags?
These are the dog tags from Merchant Marine.
Uh-huh.
These are the Army Air Force dog tags.
Where?
Right
that you're pointing to now?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, I'm going to get over there. Okay, there's the Army.
Right.
Okay.
These are the Corporal stripes.
Okay.
This one is in the Air Force. This is the 13th Air Supply Squadron.
Okay.
I don't have the 8th Air Force in here.
That's the 8, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the 13th here. The
Okay.
8th I do not have.
Okay.
This is over in Japan.
That picture is when you were in Japan?
Right.
Okay.
This is when I was a seaman in the Merchant Marine.
Wait a minute. Okay, gotcha. What's that beside you? Okay, yeah, you were going to point this.
These are the patches in the Merchant Marine that you swore.
Uh-huh.
Along with these.
Uh-huh.
This,
okay.
I have more, but this is the Atlantic. I also have a South Atlantic and the Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
This is Good Conduct, Japan.
You didn't get that Good Conduct medal. You stole that from somebody.
No, they gave that to me with a big smile.
What's that one next to it, you said?
I think
Japan?
Japan, all right.
Okay. Okay.
This right up here is identification.
Oh, wait a minute there. I got to see where you are. Where are you?
Right here.
Oh, okay. That's
this is another identification.
Uh-huh. Okay. See what you missed. There's a little thing there above that one ribbon, and there looks like two.
Right here.
Well.
Right here.
Yeah.
These are Merchant Marine buttons.
Okay, like what kind of buttons?
Just buttons.
Okay, buttons on your uniform?
Right.
That's it, okay. You were pointing to something else over there.
This is Air Force button discharge.
Is that the ruptured duck?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody discharged got one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you are.
Got it?
Yep. Anything else you want to say, Bill?
Yeah, just keep that thing going.
Okay.
Get you another map.
Okay. Let's get Mary in here and sit her down.
Okay, if I can find her.
Okay. Reporting again. This lady that's beside the bill, do you know her?
Yeah, that's my wife of 54 years.
Oh, your wife. I thought that was your girlfriend.
Well, that too.
Best friend.
Best friend, okay. All right. And your name's Mary, isn't it?
Yeah, Martha.
Okay. What's the significance of the map there? Tilt it forward a little bit. I've got a glare. Talk about that.
That map went everywhere I went when I was in service.
Is that kind of like the $2 bill you carry?
That's like the $2 bill that you've seen on the other chart.
That's your lucky map, then.
That's right. That's where I knew where I was.
Do you know where you are now?
I know where I am now.
Okay. And so you're in the United States there, and you went to Europe, came back, traveled to a lot of different states. You went to South America.
South America, all the north coast of South America, down to the Ascension Islands.
Yeah. Point to the Ascension Islands.
And see if I can find it.
It's way down there between Africa and Brazil, isn't it? I can't understand why.
Right here.
Why in the world we had troops there? I don't
Never
know.
heard of it, that.
Yeah.
Right there.
Well, you never can tell when the Germans might attack at any minute.
No, you didn't.
Okay. All right. Ascension Islands. And then you headed west to Japan.
Well, that was when I was in the service.
Yeah. The Army.
Came over here, down to here, Japan.
Okay. All right. You don't want to tell me about that ceremony they had when you went over the equator?
No.
You ever told your wife?
No. There's things that's not told in service.
That is a state secret, isn't it? That's a state secret. What happened to you?
Right.
All right. Do you have anything else to say before I shut us down? Okay.
I know her.
Well, I always shake the hand of the veteran.
Okay.
Thanks for everything you did.
You bet.
Appreciate it.